topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert Show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from experts on such topics as legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to our experts in community association law, estate planning law, tax relief, Medicare, public insurance adjusters, neuropathy treatment, business brokers, and personal injury law, along with many other topics. Now here's your host for the last 17 years, Steve O.
New Jersey. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show where we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. I got to tell you, we even switching our shows today, we were originally going to be at 5:25. We switched it to 5 o'clock. I think everybody got notice of it. I know they did because I'm looking. This is going to surprise my friend Stephen Fromm. I'm looking at TikTok right now, and the show is just starting, and we've already got 1,400 and something likes already, and we're just starting the show. But I want to say, because we just got what caused me to be late, we had a listener who lives in New York, works in New Jersey, and he said, how come you're not doing the show in New York? And we're working on it.
Thank you very much for having us again. I don't know what happened to our guest here. Do you have to bring them in yourself, or is Rebel? Here we go. Fantastic.
Like
Hello, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
There they are. Hey, listen, he pays everybody a lot of money to come on. I hope he's offering you a lot of money.
Oh, really? Okay. We didn't get that part of the deal.
Oh, I'm sorry, Stephen. I should have kept my mouth shut. Unbelievable.
No problem.
So I want to introduce Stephen and his guest, but at first I want to say, because I'm looking at all the people, we have got a huge audience this afternoon. I want to tell people that I've been on Medicare several years now. I did not know what I was missing out on until I met Stephen. Having an agent is so important, but really more important is having the right agent, because I had the wrong agent starting off, and I didn't have anybody to tell me what to do and what not to do. So I have learned, we've been doing Stephen's show almost a year now, and I have learned so much from him, and I'm so blessed that we have him. Stephen, tell people, first of all, about your firm.
Sure. First of all, my name is Stephen Fromm, and I am the founder and owner of Fromm Insurance Services. We started back in 2018. People ask me all the time if I like what I do. I say no, I love what I do. Because with our agency, we're able to help families and make a positive difference in their life. As you mentioned during the show, a lot of times some families might not be working with the right agent, and we pride ourselves in helping families understanding their Medicare. We talk about it all the time in the show, education clarity. Anyone can enroll someone in the Medicare plan, but I think it's all the things that go with that, being there, availability for the rest of their life, making sure the right plan. When we do our client needs analysis, looking at what's important to them with their budget and their healthcare needs. And at Fromm Insurance, we do those for families. And I think that makes a real big difference in why families want to work with us.
I want to let people know, because you're getting ready to get inundated with Medicare commercials, with robocalls. I don't know if your guests still get them. I still get them all the time about Medicare. But I'm going to tell you something. The most important thing is when you call those ads, all they're going to do is tell you about their company. What's great about Stephen is he's independent. So he's going to show you several plans, not just one. Stephen, introduce your guest to us.
Sure, that'd be great. I appreciate it. Well, this is Lou and Bridget, and Lou and Bridget attended one of our Turning 65 in-person workshops, and hopefully they learned a lot of education and clarity from the workshop. I think they did. And after the workshop, they approached me about setting up a consultation. They didn't really understand. I'll say, they were in a certain Medicare Advantage plan, and unfortunately, that agent really didn't take the time to talk about everything that's available to them. So they had asked me about that, and we set up a consultation and went through. And it turned out that because they had just enrolled in Medicare Advantage, they were still within that 12-month trial period. And we were able to go over their needs and their budget and help them transition from Medicare Advantage plan to original Medicare with a prescription drug, as well as we were able to help them realize some of the things that Medicare doesn't cover. And we talk about our ancillary products all the time on the show: cancer, heart attack, stroke. And we're able to help this family with some ancillary products as well. So this is Lou and Bridget.
Okay, so which one's Lou and which one's Bridget? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'll bet you and I went through probably the same thing. I didn't understand anything about Medicare. In fact, a friend of mine said to me, he said, "How come you're not on Medicare yet?" I said, "When am I supposed to enroll?" He said, "You should have already enrolled." I knew nothing. Tell us about your experience with Stephen.
Sure, Steve. So again, Lou and Bridget, we're from New Jersey, and we have been to other, seminars, forums, and quite honestly, Stephen and his assistant Judith, the wealth of knowledge and information that we got just from that one seminar, and I still had questions afterwards, was the most I had ever heard from anything I've read, heard, or even the forums we had attended before. Much to my surprise, we realized we were still within the period to get out of Advantage, which Steve had mentioned. And I'm not going to knock the rep that put us there, but we were misguided without giving full options on what to do. So, like in our case, for Bridget and I, it's clear now that the best advantage for us was Medicare Medigap, like either Plan G or N. And when we went over numbers and, our future outlook and what we were trying to do, Stephen laid out the facts, and we decided we need to switch now while we still can before we get locked out after that 12-month period. And the 12-month rule in itself was something new to us. It had never been explained to us that way. So, and I think part of it was, from what I understand, I think the previous rep, if they guide you into the Advantage plan, if you pull out, I think it affects them negatively. But the bottom line is the big picture that Steve painted for us, not only for the medical, but the savings apply towards auxiliary or additional insurance plans, which create a financial windfall so you don't use up your 401 savings that might affect your IRMA. God forbid you have a catastrophic incident medically. It will affect you IRMA wise if it puts you over the top, taking money from your accounts, your IRA accounts, 401 accounts. So to us, it was very enlightening. I'm glad we met Steve, and it's been a really great experience from day one to now.
Let me ask you something. I went through the same thing as you did. Were you upset with the agent who originally sold you the plan that he didn't or she didn't tell you everything?
So in today's environment, I'll let you speak, Ray. In today's environment, everyone's trying to make a living. You just hope that the people doing that have ethical, background and do the right thing for people. So, and without knocking a person, I was disappointed more than actually angry because it was referred to us, but someone that manages our finances. So in that perspective, yeah, we were disappointed more than angry.
You know, I got to tell you, we have other Medicare shows around the country. We have people who've seen Stephen's shows, other agents who've contacted us. And I got to tell you, I have never seen an agent. If you look at the promo things that he does, like I've got his hat on right now, but everything that he does is top notch. Where he could have cinched a little bit on the price, maybe gotten something cheaper. Everything he does is first class.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
We didn't get the hats yet. We'll be having a conversation.
Oh, you better get one.
But I
They're
can
in
tell
the
you this,
They're
on a
actually-
side note, you know, and it had nothing to do with our decision to go with Stephen, but the gift bag that Judith, his co-worker, or
Very
colleague,
thoughtful.
partner gave us was
Very
like,
thoughtful.
you know, unbelievable, really first class stuff. Like really. So to me, that I try to get a sense of people, you know, based on little things they do. Remember, I managed people for my entire life, you know, facility management. I used to always tell my colleagues and workers, listen, the big stuff will take care of itself. Anyone knows you got to do that. I said, it's the little things that make a difference to me that really, you know, so I would strive to my employees, do the little things because your clients will see that. It makes the difference between okay and greatness or okay and the best. So that's what got my attention, that gift bag. I'm like, wow, right down to the gift bag, you know, detail, attention, you know, really good stuff, no shortcuts. But just the whole presentation was so informative. You know, I told my wife, we have to call Steve. I have to get this fixed. So.
What do you think of the 71-inch color TV with his company name on it? Oh, you didn't get that? You didn't get that?
Mm-hmm. Behind me.
What do you think that people, some questions that you had in the beginning that are important that people should realize?
So for us, it's really your out-of-pocket expense, the cap for the year, right? That should be very important. I mean, if Medicare plan A and B, and then you get D, and the D covers everything that Medicare doesn't cover, like the whatever. And to think that 283 is your deductible, then your maximum out-of-pocket is so much lower than would have been like in our Advantage plans. I'm like, I just wish somebody would explain that to me at the time. You know, we wouldn't have decided with Advantage. My wife went in March and I went in October. So we had 6 months, but my wife is healthier than I am. So she uses very little of her plan. I, on the other side, probably use it more because I have some issues. So it's important to have the right plan. And even if you're healthy, you never know, God forbid, something could happen at any time.
Yeah.
And when you get up in age, something small turns into something big very quickly. So, you know, if you fall, that could end up in a hospital stay along with therapy, which could easily run like $100,000. You know, I'm not an expert in this. It's just what I've heard from other people, you know, family members and friends.
Bridget, what was important to you?
Well, we liked what Steve told us and what he had, what he had to offer and stuff.
And I think that part of it was we can keep our doctors go wherever you
We
want
can
with
use whatever
Medicare.
doctors, we have to find new doctors, that's what we had to do the first
The
time.
Advantage plan, in network, out of network. Here, it's you just go to most doctors.
Yeah.
99% of them cover Medicare. It's huge, you know. So you
I
know,
know.
you don't pick from a network. You pick the best you want,
Yeah.
which
Right.
is how it always was before for
Yeah.
us.
I got to tell you, I'm on the Advantage plan now, and everybody warned me. They said, you're not going to like the doctors. But I got to tell you, I've had 2 hip surgeries and a knee surgery, and I've loved my doctors.
Good for you.
That's very good.
I mean, I was really lucky. So, but I love Medicare. I mean, we paid into it. We should be able to get a return on our money, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think the decision to go Medicare Advantage or Medicare, Medigap traditional is really a personal one.
Yes.
And it determines for each individual, circumstance, which way to go. For us, the right way to go was the way Steve pointed out to us. But for others, Advantage plan is perfect, and so be it. Go there.
And there's a lot of plans out there. I mean,
There are.
and I got to tell you, Pete, because I know people are getting ready to be inundated because October is almost here. And I got to tell you that this show here is so important because people aren't educated. I wasn't educated.
Yeah, once you turn close to 65, see, the easy part was knowing you had to do something months in advance.
Right.
That was the easy part. And I thought I conquered it, honestly, when I did that. And then once we got deeper into it, I'm like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into here? I don't know anything about this. So I started watching YouTube experts, this and that. But, after a while, it just becomes noise, and
Too much information.
and that's where Steve puts it all in an intelligent manner and customizes it to each individual couple's or individual's needs. Because if you have a lot of data, a lot of information, you don't know where to go to it because unless you're an expert, you don't know how it affects you or what to do with all that information. It's overwhelming. And you're right. There's been commercials still going on, it hasn't even ceased, but it'll probably get worse as we get closer to October,
Exactly.
I imagine.
Hey, listen, anytime the government gets involved in something, they have a way of make things complicated. But that's what's so great about Stephen, because he uncomplicates it and he makes it sound so easy for something that is, listen, it's tough. All the things out there, A, B, C, D, all these other letters out there. And to be able to have someone that's not only going to be, my problem was my agent was only there once a year for me. That was it. And then I found out he didn't even tell me my company was no longer going to offer my accounting anymore. I had to find out on my own. You have someone like Stephen, he's going to take care of that.
Steve, after Stephen signed this up, there's always hiccups, right? On the other end, the insurance end. So obviously to Steve's, fashion, he goes, I'll take it from here. He just contacted the insurance companies, made a bunch of calls. I'm sure it was not a minute or two because there's no such thing as a minute or two call with an insurance company nowadays. And he took care of the problems like swiftly. He goes, you're done. Here's your confirmation. I'm like, what? That was easy. But behind the scenes, I'm sure it wasn't easy, No,
I appreciate all the work that he does. I feel so comfortable. We've been doing the show for 17 years, and I've probably, we have about 30 shows we do a month, and I've never endorsed anybody because it could cause problems with the show. Stephen is the first person I felt so comfortable about endorsing, and I made him my agent. That's how good I feel about him. And I want on the show to people not to try to do this themselves, to get an agent, someone who really knows the business. And that's why we do a show like this.
And there are a lot of agents out there, and I'm not disparaging them.
Yeah.
They're trying to make a living. And in some cases, they're doing the best they can, and that's okay. But I think, like you said, when it comes to something this important, which is going to be with you the rest of your life, at a time when you probably have the less, most cases you have the least energy and the least patience and the least, you're in your older years, you kind of want to breeze, don't you? So
yes.
To have a guy like Stephen in your corner, and I can tell you, we're not actors or actresses. Obviously, I missed my calling years ago when Sopranos came out. They didn't call me, okay? So, this is genuine honesty. We're being truthful. We came on the show and Steve said, just be honest. And that's what we're doing. But people have to decide for themselves what they really want and what they feel comfortable with. And for us, we're very happy that we met Stephen Fromm. And, it's honestly, there's no looking back. I've referred him to a few other people, some big people. So hopefully, they do the right thing and at least look at him before they decide yes or no.
And if we have like a question or problem, we, contact Steve and he gets right, to us, gets back to us as soon as possible.
Whereas the previous person,
we never heard. Takes days.
I heard about, we hear about like, well, I'm so busy, I'm slammed. I'm like, when I was a manager and I had clients, I would never tell the client how you make the sausage or my problems, right? You keep that to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You never get that from Steve.
Yeah.
It's just quick, instant, and he is human too. So, but honestly, it's just, it's satisfaction from soup to nuts with Steve. He gets it done.
I got to share this quick story. We received a call from one of the largest Medicare health companies, one of the largest, that doesn't matter who it is. And this was their marketing manager. And they listened to, I think it was the second or third show. They listened to the show, and here this big company wanted their own show. They wanted the whole United States, but it was based on Stephen because she said, your agent is really good. And usually I get a lot of calls like that. Usually they'll put down the agent so that they can possibly get a show with us, but they were so complimentary. I mean, here's a company. This is their ad agency. I mean, wow. Millions and millions of dollars that are spent, and they complimented Stephen up and down.
So I will say, Stephen, in a couple, share our experience, however you feel free to. We're okay with that. Just don't give her a home address, and don't tell people.
Oh, now you tell me.
Don't tell people from a Yankee or Met fan. Other than that, feel free to share our story in your words. Okay, you can probably do a better job than we can.
You guys did a great job. We appreciate that. Thank you very much for coming on today.
Thank you so much.
Really means a lot.
That's Lou and Bridget. They're a client of Stephen's. Thank you so much. Stephen, I had so many questions that came in today. I guess we're going to be doing it on our Florida show.
Yep.
We've got, this is going to blow you away. Right now, we've got over, it just says 4.4K. We've got over 4,000 likes on your show. Hey, they did incredible, Stephen.
Yeah.
So let's tell people how they can reach you.
Sure. Again, it's very simple to get in touch with me. You can always call me on my business line, which is area code 908-268-2356. That goes directly to me. You can also go on the website, www.fromis.com, which is actually behind me. There is a contact form on that, as well as we now have all of the podcasts that we've ever done are listed on our website. So you can go back and watch any of our podcasts. But that's the easiest way right now, to just give me a call or go on the website, fill out the contact form. It comes directly to me. And my new executive assistant, Jackie, will call you right away. She'll set up and schedule the appointment, and we'd be happy to help you, do our needs analysis and, make a positive difference in your life and, become your trusted advisor for the rest of your life. That's our goal, as we always talk about, Steve.
Well, I got to tell you, I am horrible with screenshots. I'm going to see if I can do this before we go off the air. Can you? I guess not. Yeah, I wanted to show you. We've got 4.6 thousand likes on your show, still coming in. Stephen, I'm so glad that we have you. And, we're going to be doing our Florida show next week, I believe. I don't have the exact date. And then we have our big California show.
Yep.
So we got 2 more shows coming up. Stephen, one more time with the phone number, please.
Sure. It's my direct line is 908-268-2356. We also have the toll-free number of 877-801-4440. And with our 2 shows, Steve, for next week, I've already prepped for that. We're going to talk about the Medicare Advantage world and all the changes that are coming, as well as the prescription drug world, all the changes that are coming as well. So it'll be a great show for people to come and listen to.
You got it, bro. We'll see you next week. It's Stephen Fromm.
Thank you.
Folks, please, we'll be giving out his phone number also. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we've got more with Ask the Experts.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.